In today's story, the main character, Shouty. The story features a monster named Late. Because he's different from everyone else, people often laugh at him. He can only talk to others through his phone. Meanwhile, the lights in the room start flickering strangely. Dashan thinks it's just the wind and brushes it off. He decides to fix the lights in the house, but doesn't see that a newspaper outside has formed a human shape. When Dashan gets home, he hands the tablet to Shouty. Shouty is happy to grab the tablet and take selfies. However, he sees another face in the cabinet behind him. When he checks, there's nothing there. Thinking it's just his imagination, he checks again, and the camera captures a fierce-looking face, which leaves Shouty confused. He quickly closes the door because he and his partner are having a rough evening. That night, Dashan angrily moves out. The next day, Shouty asks his mother if his father has left, and surprisingly, the tablet answers yes. Shouty is shocked and types to ask who the tablet is. Initially, the tablet doesn't respond. Just as Shouty is about to eat, a story appears on the screen, and the tablet introduces itself as Late, wanting to be friends. At that moment, Shouty's mother enters. To help Shouty's mood, she decides to have a friend stay over. Shouty isn't pleased and hides the tablet in a storage room. A few friends arrive that night, including Shouty. As they prepare for bed, Shouty hears strange noises and stares at the cabinet. Shouty and the others think she's just hiding candy in there. Curious, Shouty opens the cabinet and finds the tablet. She starts to read the story, and as soon as she reads the first line, the lights go out. Ignoring it, she continues reading. The story reveals that Late comes from another world, but can still see you through the window that connects both worlds. If someone finishes reading, Late will cross over. Just then, the lights burst into sparks, followed by a weird noise near the dining table. Shouty turns on the tablet's camera and sees a monster crouching against the wall, but it's only visible through the camera. The others come to check on Shouty, but the monster suddenly stands up. Shouty grabs the tablet, thinking it's all a prank. Then, alone, Shouty approaches the corner, and as everyone else relaxes, the dining table suddenly shifts, trapping Shouty. The group screams in fear as Shouty's mother rushes over. Soon, the other parents arrive, wanting to know what happened. Shouty says nothing, but the other two insist Shouty is to blame. After everyone leaves, Shouty tries to explain to her mother, but she refuses to believe her. The next day, Shouty notices Shouty is absent from class, and her mother buys new bulbs, thinking of replacing them. Suddenly, the tablet lit up on the table, but he didn't bother to turn it off. He removed the light bulb and turned around to find the tablet had moved. He picked it up and began to read the story, but the house lights began to flicker, making him think the lights were broken again. When he stepped outside, he realized he had just bought a new light bulb and didn't know who had changed it. He assumed it was his husband who had returned and called out his husband's name. But then, the kitchen table shifted. He entered the kitchen, but saw no one there. Taking his weapon, he prepared to investigate. Before he left, the tablet greeted him. His mother picked up the tablet, thinking Shouty might have downloaded something. The tablet spoke again, telling her to say goodbye to Shouty, which excited her. She put tape on the tablet's cameras and warned whoever was on it not to hurt Shouty. The voice assured her that Shouty was safe, but wanted to take him from this world. The house lights began to flicker oddly, causing anxiety in his mother, who rushed to get Shouty from school, wanting to explain that his best friend had called. Shouty had stopped speaking since that incident. He refused to go to school and wouldn't eat. Shouty's mother told her best friend about the tablet, suspecting a hacker was controlling it. During their talk, Shouty suddenly spoke up, saying Shouty hadn't done anything that night. He revealed that Late was responsible. Hearing Late's name triggered a memory for Shouty's mother. Shouty mentioned sensing that a monster wanted to harm him, leaving the woman in shock. That night, she instructed Shouty to pack and move to his father's house. She warned Shouty not to bring anything with a screen. As Shouty was about to go downstairs, he noticed a flash in a room. Feeling something was off. Silently, he approached and picked up the tablet, but the nearby cabinet opened on its own as if a monster was emerging. He opened the camera and found himself in another room. He took the tablet and followed the strange presence, and with his mother's encouragement, he picked up a sponge and left, ignoring her advice. Later, she told Dashan about the monster, but he thought she was crazy and didn't believe her. Eventually, Shouty decided to work with his father. Dashan discovered the tablet in Shouty's bag and read a story from it. Suddenly, it disappeared midway through, which was typical. Dashan quickly took out his tools from the car, fixing something while his father worked. He picked up a saw for fun, but when he looked back, the distance on the saw seemed shockingly close. When he checked again, what had been 50 meters now appeared to be only 3 meters away. Trying a toy as a comparison yielded no results the first 2 times. The third time, the toy actually stayed in the air. At that moment, Shouty's father arrived and took her back. Shouty grabbed the tablet and turned on the camera. To show that the monster wasn't real, Dashan picked up the tablet and looked out the window, not realizing that Shouty was floating. Eventually, Dashin spotted Shouty in the glass reflection. He quickly rescued her, and when they got home, Dashin believed his wife's story. They broke the tablet, but a monster was still in it. That night, while Dashin was working, a story popped up on his phone. It warned him that the monster wouldn't stop until it made a new friend, and that anyone who tried to stop it would die. Dashin quickly put down his phone and looked out the window. The lights around him were fading, and cars nearby were shining. He wanted to leave, but the door was locked. When he heard footsteps, he hid. Then, he remembered the camera on his phone. He spotted the monster outside through the camera, but it disappeared again. When he aimed the camera at Wooly, the monster suddenly appeared. Dashin took the chance and ran outside. Once in his car, he locked the gas door, thinking he'd be safe after leaving the office. However, when he checked the camera, he saw the monster was still following him. Soon after, his wife got a call from Dashin's chef, and luckily, it wasn't about life-threatening issues. Right after hanging up, strange software appeared on her phone. Scared, she threw her phone away and dumped all her devices into the trash. When she got home, the TV turned on by itself, showing different channels. The lines in those shows were odd, but they revealed what the light wanted to say. The woman asked the source of light, and the TV replied that people only stare at their screens, which is why many feel lonely. That loneliness was created by light. Finally, the software popped up on the TV. Before they could react, it wrote out a message. Light needed to take someone with him. As the TV story ended, the mother realized they had finished the story. Angrily, she threw the TV out of the house. Afterward, she got rid of all screen devices at home. Just as they were leaving, a monster crawled out of the computer. The mother had no choice but to take Shouty back home. When they arrived, the monster chased them, but luckily, it didn't see them. They quickly headed to the second floor while the monster was distracted. The two hid under the bed, but the monster came searching for them, calling Shouty's name. At a crucial moment, Shouty shouted, "Voila!" repeatedly. The monster spotted them, but the mother quickly pulled Shouty away. As they tried to escape, the little brother picked up a baseball bat and smashed a lamp. The monster screamed in pain and vanished under the bed. The little brother led his mother to a place without electricity, realizing that without power, the monster couldn't follow them. They were relieved for a moment when a camera restored the little brother's lost phone. Unsurprisingly, the monster crawled out of it. The mother pulled her son away, and they fled without stopping. She's holding a small flute in her hand. The story is very hard to understand. He mentioned that if you just hold the monkey's hand, the monster will take it away. Just as the monkey was about to take his hand, Mother grabbed it first. She said she thought the same way as the monster. All this was to protect the little flute. The monster held the woman's hand tightly. Then his eyes began to swell, and his face twisted in pain. In a moment, the mother and the monster vanished into the woods. When the phone screen stopped, everything returned to calm. In the following days, Shouty learned to speak. She also made up with a few friends. That night, there were strange noises coming from downstairs in the restaurant. It sounded like Shouty was playing with someone. When she opened the camera, she discovered it was her wife.